Oh, says
What's it say?
thank you. I'm ready. My makeup girls. Freddie, your mic is muted. There you go.
All right, I apologize. Technical difficulties. All right, y'all. This is Freddie Huth and Craig Barn with um, Tiger Talk with some Clemson gentlemen after a loss, a hard fought loss, if you want to call it that. Um, Keep in mind that y'all we are streaming through the Clemson Junkies Facebook page, and we got to give a shout out to Jason Priester for allowing us to do that, trying to get us up and running.
Yeah.
After our Facebook page, it's taking some time to get it up. So we also are live on YouTube tonight, or as far as we know. So if y'all got a question or anything like that, don't hesitate. Shout it out to us. If we see it, we'll try to answer it. If we can't answer it, we'll try to get an answer for you. We're two Clemson guys giving our opinions and thoughts on week to week. And so, Greg, how's your week been?
Great. Um, Big anticipation for the game, and it was a great week. It's football season. How about you, man?
I am so thankful for football season. I told you last Sunday that I was looking so forward to it. Well, if it tells you anything, my world got, or my life showed me some perspective this week, as it always seems to do with me. As many of you know, I'm a type 1 diabetic. I've been diabetic since just before I turned 2, and this past Wednesday, had a little bit of a hiccup. Um, my wife woke up at around 3 o'clock that morning to go to work and couldn't get me up. And for those of you that know how diabetes is, it's a fickle little thing sometimes. But after she worked with me for a good little bit, ended up having to call EMS, and I spent a night in the ICU down in Manning, and so I got to give them a big shout out for getting me back on the path to recovery, I guess you'd say. So, as much as I love Clemson sports, it gave me a little bit more perspective on, the fact that, this is a game being played by 18 to 20 something year olds that none of us have any control over. So, you hate a loss, but you got to move on. And that's what we're
That's
looking for
right.
now. So, all right, as far as the game goes, what were you most surprised with? What were you most surprised at?
Positive or negative?
Let's go with let's go with. I always like to go with negative first. Let's go with negative first.
Man, I
So
was
begin
just
with that.
disappointed in our offensive line. Now, I'm not sure LSU, got to give them credit, but Clemson just kind of, I was really anticipating that to be one of the big strong points for the Tigers. And that was one thing that I was a little disappointed in, but I knew that'll be shored up. First game, great team.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna have to say, for me, that that bothered me. It all The biggest thing that bothered, or that concerned me a little bit was, um, and I would go with defense on this thing. The fact that we didn't seem to make any adjustments. At one point in time in the second half, and I remember Kirk Herbstreit and them pointing it out, and I had noticed it myself too. They ran one play, the exact same play, like 3 or 4 different times before we finally decided, oh, you know what? We need to move one of our defensive ends out there to try to cut this down. And TJ Parker, they still gained some yards, but it seemed to cause them to go to a different route at that point in time. So I was kind of expecting more adjustments to be made throughout the game, and maybe they were made and we just didn't notice. I don't know. I just that was my biggest thing on defense as far as that goes.
Yeah,
How
I agree
about
with
you
you,
on defense?
man. It always seemed like they were right there right on the cusp of getting it together. It just, I don't know. It's hard to explain. I'm not going to say that we were out of sorts, but we were just right there every time. Seemed like there's a few missed tackles that were key. Um, yeah, talent's there. We've got the ability. But I do want to say this. You're right. It was a tale of two halves. I mean, we won the first half.
Yep.
By points, pretty evenly matched contest in that first half. Good game, real slow, but then the second half, like you said, it doesn't seem like we really made the adjustments that needed to be made, but LSU did. I mean,
That's right.
they came to win,
Well,
they came to
and
win.
and for me, as far as offense goes, I know you went with offense first, and I went with defense. All right, with offense, the thing that really concerned me a little bit was the fact that we only gained 1.6 yards per carry. Okay, our running backs. All right, and that has been a thorn in our side for the last several years. I mean, when we had Shipley and Maffa, then we had Maffa last year. You know what I'm saying? I mean, now I'm not gonna say that
That's right.
it was 1.6 yards a game last year, but at the same time, this is something that's been kind of plaguing us for several years now, and I just can't figure it out, man. I mean, you know, somebody else brought up earlier today when I was talking with some people. Is it the blocking scheme? Is it? And there again, you don't know because we're on our second offensive line coach now.
Yep.
Well, third if you count the coach that retired whenever Thomas Austin took over.
Yep.
So you know, um, and that really concerns me a little bit because you know that's something that people are going to key on.
Yep.
Stop the run and you stop Clemson. So, all right, for you on
And,
defense, what go ahead. I'm sorry.
well, and I just wanted to I have some stats up here.
Mm-hmm.
We only had 19 rushing attempts.
Yep.
And for a net gain of 32 yards. 32
Mm-hmm.
yards rushing. You can't win football games with 32 yards rushing. Now,
No.
I don't know if it's because the offensive line was struggling or if we don't trust our running backs yet or not. But, that's 32 yards rushing.
Well, and I'm gonna tell you, you said it earlier about LSU. They seem to be exactly where they needed to be. I think you were saying it earlier. And here's the thing. I mean, I've seen several people today that were talking about, that, Cade, was making mistakes here. Cade didn't go through his progressions. And the biggest video that I've seen today has been on the last drive where, he throws it to Wesco, I think it is, and Wesco misses it. All right. And Wesco was covered. The sad part about that is if you look and watch the game, even Kirk Street and Fowler pointed out that they pretty much were having to use short, quick passes. And I do believe that by that time they had relegated it to either you hit that first progression or that first receiver, or you don't put in harm's way.
Yep.
And sadly, you can't put all that on Cade. I mean, that's
No.
um, it, at the same time, um, I will tell you this: what I saw last night was a lot of coaching that's going to have to be done over the next, I mean, don't get me wrong, Troy could beat us, and we all
Oh
know
yeah.
that any team could beat you on any given Sunday, but you know, it's something's got to be shored up before we go into ACC play. That's for sure.
Well,
So,
we've got some. There's some good tape now to look at.
yep,
I mean, there's no doubt they're going to get these things cleaned up. But going back to Cade Klubnik, everything's not on him, but he had a few. I know he had a few plays that he'd love to have back.
oh yeah,
Uh,
no doubts.
and we lost to a good LSU team. I mean, it was
Uh-huh.
17-10. Clemson didn't
Yeah,
get blown. It wasn't a
yeah.
blowout.
We
Um,
didn't get punked as bad as Alabama. That's for sure.
yep.
There's no doubts there.
Um, you
By a
know,
team that came in after winning 2 games last year. Yeah,
and us as fans of Clemson, of course, we expect better and we want better. You know, at the end of the day, like you said, these are 18 to 24-year-old guys that are out there doing their best, and
mm-hmm.
just because they don't perform up to our expectations doesn't make them a bad football team. I can
Yeah.
guarantee you they hate this loss worse than we do.
Oh yeah.
They can't.
Well, give me a positive um, from last night's game. I know it doesn't seem like there are very many, but what was a
Well,
positive you saw?
there's one particular play that just stuck out to me. Cade was rolling out to his right. I mean, it was a design play. I don't remember who the running back was, but he came out. I think it was just one dude out there to block, and he got to him, and Cade got the pass off him. I'm thinking went for a first down. You saw that execution, so it's there. You know that we can
Yep.
execute.
Yep.
And just a little disappointed in we couldn't get an offensive identity.
Yep.
Couldn't get into any kind of rhythm. Again, here we go. Garrett Nussmeier, 28 for 38 for 230 yards and a touchdown. Cade Klubnik, 19 of 38 for 230 yards. No touchdowns, but an interception.
Yep.
And that just goes back to, I believe, line play.
Oh yeah.
Having the time back there. I think there's some missed assignments that I know our running backs missed some key blocks that could have given Klubnik a few extra seconds to find. But he did miss some open guys. When I say miss,
Oh yeah.
he overlooked.
Well, not only that, he overthrew some players too.
He did.
He was high on a bunch of his passes. Um, Now I will tell you, and we got a shout out earlier this week for what I'm about to bring up. But the one positive that I saw was I am really looking forward to seeing what Bettencourt you can do once he gets more snaps.
Oh yeah.
Um, he impressed me last night. And there were a couple of plays that I think Cade missed him that he could have gained some more yards. But when he gets the ball in his hands, man, he can really do some stuff.
Yep.
So,
And I do want to go back because we all have a tendency to focus on the negative, but I do want to give you two positives,
okay.
offense, defense, real quick. I
Okay.
think that Tyler Brown's reemergence. I don't know if you remember when was it, 2 years ago? He came in as a true freshman.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Antonio Williams. Who was it that went down then where he had to come in and play a
I think
lot?
it was
He
Antonio.
Well, and
Yep.
last year I believe Tyler Brown was hurt, but this first game, now he did make a couple of mistakes, but they're teachable, coachable moments. But he also made some pretty good plays. He was a bright spot, and Ronan Hannafin, safety.
Oh yeah.
Defense.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Joker. He was a wide receiver last year. And
I know.
I think he's a junior, if I'm not mistaken. But he was out there.
So.
I mean, he got hurt one time. He hit the dude so hard, but he was right back in the game. He's tough.
And honestly, if it hadn't been for the rules that he'd have stayed in the end. I don't.
He's tough.
Yeah.
And I forgot about those. I did want to say something about those two positives on offense and defense because, individually loved what they brought to the table, especially Hannafin. That joker right there, he's going to be something.
Well, you took mine because I was going with Hannaford for my positive on defense.
Yep.
You know, I wasn't as concerned going into the game about our linebackers, but I'm gonna be honest with you. Wade Woodaz kind of concerns me a little bit because he was out of position to seem like to me a good bit last night when, you know, when he could have made some plays, and that kind of concerns me a little bit because I was leaning towards the linebacker core being a pretty good strength for us. So, hey,
he was out of position. Some, he was. He did make some good plays. He was quieter than what I expected. Sammy Brown made some pretty good plays. It just seemed like, I don't know. I don't want to place blame on anybody, but it just wasn't all there on defense for me. Just something was missing. I can't put my finger on it yet. I always rewatch the game and I'll rewatch it again.
Yeah. That's me.
Yeah, but defense just couldn't get clicking like we wanted them to.
Yeah. Well, and there again, you've got to have an offense and a defense that feed off of each other. And it was, I don't know. I felt like if we could have tied the ball game up, then we had a chance to win it. And I say that because we've seen these Clemson teams over the years do that same thing. I just said feed off each other, and it kind of felt like the defense last night got to a point where they were like, what are we gonna do to win this ball game because our offense can't,
And you're right. And I will say this also. Yeah, Rod saw that. They didn't do the best. But
I did want to put that up there, Craig, because that's our first comment. We appreciate it, Rob.
Thank you, brother.
Rob. And Rob might be our number one fan right now, though. Hold on a second. He's got another one in here I want to add up there. Defense played way better, but they can't be out there. Exactly what we're talking about right now. We're on the money with that. And yeah, I mean, what'd you think there, Craig? Tell me.
Look here. The defense gave Clemson the football back, I want to say inside of 4 minutes, two times.
Yep, sure did.
And the offense couldn't get the job done. Drove down. We had every opportunity to tie the game right there at the end. And it kind of goes back to that South Carolina game last year. Had the opportunity to win it right at the end. Well, or at least, we were right there and turned the ball over. Coachable.
Yeah.
We're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. Everything's coachable. The talent is there. LSU, I'm hoping is a good football. They showed last night they're a good football team. And I'm going to tell you something. I told somebody yesterday. Brian Kelly said at his little press conference or whatever Thursday night, said we'll talk about this win when we get back. They show up with the 1-0 T-shirts pregame.
Yeah.
They had players of our defensive linemen on the tackling on the dummies for the offensive line. We had them at night in Death Valley. The opportunity to prove that we are the Death Valley. As a fan, I believe that's what disappointed me in the loss was we had all that going for us, bulletin board material, to get that fight out of them. I'm gonna chalk it up first game jitters.
And Dabo's always been able to use stuff like that to his advantage. And I don't know. I'm like you. You don't. I saw an article earlier today where he got upset about somebody asking him about his recent record versus the SEC, and I'm in agreement with somebody else I was talking to earlier today that you know you just got to chalk this one up and accept that they came in and they did exactly what they said they were going to do, and you had every chance to stop them, and you didn't. Um, you know, that's that's the sad part about this. I mean, and it's also the good thing about football. You can get past this and get a win that we all expect this coming weekend. But at the same time, you got to give credit where credit's due. I mean, the man told you what he was coming to do, and he did it.
He did it.
You
That's
know,
right.
and as much as I've joked about Brian Kelly and everything else, the man did what he planned on doing. So,
He did. Got his
um,
first win in Death Valley. So, hey, good
yeah,
job.
yep,
Congratulations. I hope LSU wins every game, and I hope we win every game till the end of the year.
you
I
and me
don't
both.
think there's going to be many that we will have problems with because I really believe Clemson has a good football team, and things will get shored up. Troy's going to be a tough opponent next week, but we need that. We need that. But I wanted to point one thing out here to you.
Okay, go ahead.
We're talking about Klubnik. So he actually had he only had 5 completions that were over between 15 and 25 yards. Wesco had a 21-yard reception, TJ Moore 26, Tyler Brown 17. I knew that tight end Christian
Yeah,
I can't even pronounce his name, 20, and Olson Pat Henry had a 19-yard reception. We didn't have anything over. We had one over 25 yards. TJ Moore had a 26-yard reception.
Did Olson Pat Henry come back in after
I
that
believe
play?
he did. I
Okay,
believe
I
he
just
did.
did. I couldn't remember, and
Um,
I was kind of concerned when he got hit like he did.
Yep. And I'm going to agree with Rod right here. Rod saying I think when they saw the offensive line getting pushed around, they totally gave up trying to run the ball. There were some positives, but offense was hard to watch. It was the trenches that was what won the game. We lost out on both sides, and that's absolutely correct.
And I think if I remember correctly, I think we both agreed last weekend that what was going to win or lose this game was going to be in the trenches, and
Oh, yeah.
it came to pass. I mean,
The line, the line
I
of
mean,
scrimmage is where the game is won. Line of scrimmage, and on
and
defense, that's where.
well, and if you think about it, I mean, and this is what really, I guess, this is the thing that really bothers or concerns you about Clemson's offensive line is they came in with the most experience out of the two offensive lines. Four of LSU's 5 offensive linemen weren't even on their team last year.
That's
And
right.
anybody that knows offensive lines and how everybody loves to see when you sign all these big offensive linemen. The problem that most people don't understand, or most fans don't understand, is you don't just plug an offensive lineman into an offensive line and then go, okay, yeah. I mean, they have schemes they have to come up with. They have to learn. I mean, they have a playbook in its own right that they have to be able to come up and learn. And so it usually takes offensive linemen a little while to gel. And
Yeah.
that's something that a lot of people don't take into account. And honestly, they controlled our defensive line way better than I expected. Um,
They
and so
did.
and that again, you said it earlier. That's a credit to you got to give credit to LSU. I mean,
That's right.
it's
And I'll say this: I watched Peter Woods and Demonte Capehart. Um, those are two of the main guys. They got double teamed a lot. But see that the double teams would free someone else up. But it seemed like we got out of position a little too much. He had a lot of long runs. Let's see. I want to see how many. LSU has some long runs, 20,
yeah,
25 yards a pop. You know, that shouldn't be a long run against a defense like what Clemson has. Let's see what they had. Let's see, they had a 74-yard rusher,
Mm-hmm.
26-yard rusher. Um, they ran the ball, and this kind of shows something, I think. LSU, there we go, team stats. They had
I looked at it
25
earlier.
first. They had 25 first downs to Clemson's 13 first downs. They were 4 for 11 in third downs. Clemson was 3 for 13. They had 110 yards rushing on 29 attempts. They only averaged 3.8 yards, but
At least they were getting yards. That's the
they
key.
were double what Clemson had.
Exactly. Exactly.
They
And
they
there
turned the ball
again,
over twice.
it's, you know, it's the first game. We get that and we understand that. But, you know, and I guess it goes back to what I've learned too, that, you know, you got to learn what all to take from Dabo and what all to kind of, put it as a, coach speak, as a lot of people say. And, it's real easy to get caught up in the hype. And I've been saying from the beginning that I was hoping that we didn't let, the hype, train catch us. And I'll be honest with you, it seemed like last night the hype train did catch us. Kind
Yep.
of ran over us and then backed up a couple times and ran over us again, man.
In the second
So
half, they took it to us in the
yeah,
second.
yeah,
You know,
yep.
they made the
And
half
and
adjustment.
and Dabo would be the first to tell you, because I've heard him say it. The only thing that doesn't matter at the half is the score. It's the score the only score that matters is the score at the end of the game. And
That's right.
look, we got outscored 14-0 in the
Enough.
second half, and that's what lost us the game. You know.
Yep.
Um,
And
Now, you know, we've got Troy coming in. I have not looked to see how they did the first week of the season, and I have not looked at their, um, what I'm saying, what they've
yeah,
got this year as far as that goes. But even with that being said, um, we should win against Troy. We'll probably look like a national contender against Troy. If we don't, then we can start, raising some red flag, above the stadium, and try to figure out, you know, what we're going to do. But
that's right. What?
what do you think?
Well, um, Troy's going to be like about any other college football team out there now. They have transfers. I'm starting to liken football to college baseball. You have these
Yeah,
small schools out there in baseball that you might not think have the players that Clemson or whoever has. They've got players. They've got dudes.
hmm
Um, I think Troy's going to come in and give us a little fight in the beginning.
yeah.
What? Tell,
I,
tell me this, Freddie.
mhm.
What do you want to see out of Clemson in this next football game Saturday?
I want to see us sure up the offensive line. Um, I want to see us, I want to see us knock people off the ball. That's
Right.
that's the biggest thing. Um, I'm not even concerning myself all that much with, you know, in other words, a lot of people, oh, we got to win 60-0 or something. I don't care about that. That's
Yeah.
not gonna make. I want to see us make adjustments to where we were at last night, and fix some of those issues. That's the key for me. How about you?
Yeah. I want to see Cade Klubnik settle in, manage the game. Everybody knows he's got the ability to get the job done. I want to see. That's one thing on offense. I want to see. I just want to see Klubnik settle in and do what he's capable of. I know he's capable of a lot more than what he showed everybody yesterday, last night. The other thing I want to see, I want to see more of an offensive identity, and I think that starts with, man, we got to establish a running game. I was looking.
Yeah.
Adam Randall, he only had 5 carries. All right, and check this out. And I think this is kind of important. He had 5 carries, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where'd it go? I just had it. I think that one other running back had 3 carries, and then we had 3 or 4 different wide receivers had the rest of them.
Yep.
I think Easy's other running back, maybe Keith Adams, might have had 1 run also.
He did. The only one that I know of that did not get a carry was Gideon Davidson, and Dabo said earlier, from my understanding, that if I read the tweet correctly, that his first play he missed a block, which caused his running his chances to be on the field to decrease a little bit. But at the same time, he also let it be known that he's still high on in the running back room. So that's good. So.
But here you go, rushing. Adam Randall had 5 rushes for 16 yards. Tyler Brown had 1. T.J. Moore had 1. Easy E had 3. Keith Adams had 1. And Klubnik had 8 design runs. We got 19 rushes.
Yeah.
I mean, we need more than that. We got to have more than that. Defensively, and I do want to. I left one out on defense.
Okay.
Positive.
Okay.
Stephen Green.
Yep.
Number 90. He got in there and he was disruptive. He was in there like the Tasmanian devil. He was like his hair was on fire.
What I thought was strange was every time he made a play, they never really gave a name. They never gave it. You know what I'm saying? They didn't even announce that he was making the play. And I'm sitting there going, he's making most of these plays.
Yeah. Green had 6 tackles. Hannafin was the leading tackler with 12, and Sammy Brown was right behind him with 11. But defensively, I just want to see consistency out of Clemson. Just there. You know, it's easy for us to sit here and talk about it, be these armchair coaches.
Oh yeah.
But honestly, at the end of the day, it just comes down to doing your job. Everybody's got a job to do on the field, and when you do what you're supposed to be doing and you're where you're supposed to be, things happen.
And I don't remember who it was. They said, last year that T.J. Parker got called into a spot where he'd get caught trying to do other people's jobs at times, and he'd get burnt. And that's the thing. I mean, you got to have all 11 players doing their job. It doesn't mean that T.J. Parker doesn't make a play that that help should have made. I'm not saying that's not going to happen, but at the same time, you want help to make the plays he's supposed to make so that T.J. Parker can do his job. If that that's the whole key. So,
I think we're going to see a different Clemson football team here in 6 days.
I do too.
I guarantee you they're watching film now and they're making corrections.
I can tell you this much: I would hate to be in that practice this week.
What?
And
I do want to remind you and everyone else. You remember how Clemson started last year, don't you?
Oh yeah. Look here. I still remember people telling me that they didn't have a shot at the playoffs or the ACC championship. That they would get drugged. I mean, hey. So yeah.
Well, we lost to Georgia. We scored 3 points against Georgia last year. 34-3 loss to start the season, and you still made playoffs.
And they didn't.
That's right. So season's early.
Matter of fact, if you look here, if you remember last year after that game and all throughout, halfway through the season, Georgia was expected not to lose a game. They didn't think that the
Oh yeah,
analysts all the talking heads all had them winning the national championship and nobody could beat them, and they don't even make the playoffs. So yeah, I mean,
that's right.
look, that's the good
Long
thing about
season.
this whole thing. It's a long season. So,
That's
well,
right.
Craig,
That's right.
I have
One thing
enjoyed
real quick.
another. Oh yeah, go ahead. No, I ain't
Real
stopping.
quick. And how about Florida State beating Alabama?
Exactly. Exactly. Well, and that's just it. I meant to tell, and you brought up that, and it reminded me of what I was going to earlier. You said you were making a comment about LSU, and I'm gonna be honest with you. Right now, if you ask me going forward right now, I would say LSU is the team to beat in the SEC. Now, I mean they may completely fizzle out. It may be another Alabama, another Georgia thing by the time the season's out. I don't know. Neither one of us do. But you know, I've watched Alabama get blown out by, and I mean, by Alabama standards. Okay, let's get that
Right.
straight. I mean, they got blown out in their by their standards by a team that had 2 wins last year. Now, as the NIL, help. Oh yeah, and the portal has helped. We get that, but at the same time, anybody that expected Florida State to win that game, um, they were, they knew something nobody else knew.
That's
Um,
right. I didn't
I
expect it.
watched I watched the South Carolina or some of the South Carolina Virginia Tech game earlier today, and no one expected Virginia Tech to be in that game into the fourth quarter. That game was
Yep.
supposed to be done by halftime, and going into the fourth quarter, you know they had a chance to win that game. They were only down by 2 points going into the fourth quarter.
Yep.
So um, now Syracuse, was kind of shocking to me, and Georgia Tech really kind of shocked me this weekend with their game against Colorado. But
They
hey,
pulled
a
it out.
win's a win.
That's right.
So
They pulled it out right there. Then
that's
their
right.
quarterback, he
Yep.
looked. King, I think's his
So
name. He made a
yeah.
Cade Klubnik like run
Yep.
to steal that win
Sure did.
for him.
Sure
Steal that
did.
win for him.
Yeah.
But hey,
Yeah.
Freddie, I'm telling
Yeah.
you, it wasn't a bad loss. We didn't play up.
Mm-mm.
Clemson did not play up to standards. They
Yep.
knew that. We knew that. There's going to be other
Exactly.
fans that aren't Clemson fans that are going to say Clemson sucks this year. Nah, and there's going to be a lot of our fans are going to say that too. But you
Oh
know
yeah.
what? Like I said last week, Coach Sweeney has a plan for everything. Anything
Oh
and
yeah.
everything that can
Yeah.
go wrong, he's got a plan for it.
Exactly right. And
And he's
I'm looking forward to seeing what they do to fix the stuff they've had to fix. So um,
yep,
hey, as always, man, it's been a blast. I've had fun talking Clemson
same,
athletics with you. Um,
brother.
and look forward to next weekend. Hopefully, we get to talk about a win after next Saturday. Again, we want to thank JP Jason Priester for allowing us to or helping us out with our technical difficulties. He was a huge help last week after we got off, and I tried to get some of this stuff straightened out. For those of you that don't know, you can check us out on our YouTube channel. If you don't mind, hit that like and share, or hit that like and subscribe button, y'all. And if you want to
Yeah,
share it. The more people that watch it, the better the better it makes us feel. I think I speak
that's
for both myself and Craig when I say that. But
absolutely.
Craig,
Hey, one more thing, Freddie,
yep.
we forgot
Uh,
something.
what's that?
Score prediction. Score prediction.
Ah,
Let's
yeah.
throw that before we
Okay.
go.
Yeah. You're right. All right. I'll let you go first. You tell me. What do you think?
All right. So Troy last week, well, yesterday, they had an easy team that they
Okay.
played. I saw that they have. I was looking real quick on here. They had a dude that rushed for almost 200 yards. Now it was against Nicholls State,
Okay.
but I think this is going to be a good opportunity for that front seven to show we're going to stop the run. That's not going to be an issue again this year. Time to man up.
I agree.
So I'm going to give us, and I believe that offense is going to come to life. I think I'm going to see more of Adam Randall. I'm going to throw this out there until Clemson can prove that there's an offensive identity. I'm not going to really give Clemson a whole lot of prediction points, but I will say 24-17, 24-13 win. I'd like to say we're going to score a little bit more, but I can't see it at this moment.
Okay.
But I'm going to go with 24-13. That's going to be my prediction.
All right. I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm going 45-10 Clemson.
Hey,
I think they want to make a statement.
That.
Well, I think they want to make a statement. And, look, we both know that, like I said earlier, we should beat them. Troy shouldn't give us a hassle. But, most people say a statement versus Troy. After losing the first game the way we did, and only getting the yards we got, I expect us to establish the run and score it, the way we need to. So that's my prediction.
I want to see some big plays. I want to see some big plays.
I do too.
I want to see some more shots downfield.
Yeah. And I expect it. I'm expecting Wesco to have at least one big play, and TJ Moore to have at least one big play. It's yeah. And I'll be honest with you, I have not. I saw where Devo said something about Antonio Williams earlier in his injury, but I haven't. I saw the article. I didn't get the chance to look at it, so I don't know where he's going to stand as far as going forward. But the good thing about Troy is we shouldn't have to have him to win. So I would say, even if he isn't, bad, you should hold him out. Hey, I also want to give a shout out to Rod Knight, Rod and Miranda Knight, for he won our fan of the show tonight, since he was the one that kept commenting and giving us things to talk about. We appreciate it. We appreciate all the fans that are watching us. Just two country boys talking on Clemson athletics, and we hope y'all are enjoying it as much as we are. Like I said, hit that like and subscribe button on YouTube, and share it as much as you can, and tell everybody about it. We're going to be here next Sunday. Hopefully, Lord willing, as long as we don't have anything major cause a problem, at 7 o'clock. Hopefully talking a Clemson win. And until then, I'm going to use Don Munson saying, all God's children said, go Tigers.
Go Tigers. Remember, you are loved, and this is a real Death Valley.
Yes, it is. I totally agree.
All right, next week.
Next week, buddy.